Good evening, everyone. I'm JaVonni Brustow, and this is the Media Mogul News Hour. I am your host, and this show is sponsored by celebrity news website popglitz.com. And today's guest is media personality Prince Carter. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you? Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. So as we were saying in the pre-show, I think that it's been like maybe 4 years since we first connected, and we finally had a chance to meet together for an interview.
Finally, right? We are
Yeah, I
finally
don't quite.
here.
Yeah, a couple of things happen by email.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I've been working.
So I've seen. Look, I understand that you packed your bags, went to Atlanta, left the
Yes.
DMV some seven,
Yes.
8 years ago,
Yes.
and you've been shaking things up ever since you've been down there.
What can I say? I'm a hustler by nature.
Yeah, I know that some of the people that you've done interviews with would be Selena Johnson,
Hmm.
some of my favorite people,
Yeah.
folks like her. So tell
Yeah.
me what's your secret? How did that happen?
Oh my gosh, what is my secret? Like I said, I'm a hustler by nature. So, when
Right.
I finally left Maryland, the DMV area, I knew I had to get it. My whole thing was I knew that God had a bigger purpose for my life, for me. And in order for me to actually fulfill that purpose, I had to step out on faith and just go for it. And I wasn't going to allow anybody to stop me. I had that conversation with my parents. It was tough. Neither
Yeah.
one of them wanted me to leave. But it was something that I had to do for me. It wasn't about anybody. It was about me, finding my happiness and my peace. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I had to get it. Again, I just had to get it, so I wasn't going to allow anything to stop me. So that's my secret, I guess. That's the sauce.
Yeah, and so what's odd about this? So for one, as I told you, so I've known of you for years, and
Yes,
I said,
yes.
how did I not know that you were from the DMV?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because, and I'm glad that you said that because I will have to start speaking about the DMV area a little bit more
Yes, you
because
do.
I really don't tell people about I don't talk about where I'm from too often.
Hmm.
So maybe I should a little bit more. Not ashamed, it's not like I'm ashamed because
Right, right.
I love my hometown. But
I mean,
yeah, I
when
just
we talk about work and whatnot, we don't necessarily always think to
yes,
like drag out our whole bio, right?
that's right, that's right, that's right. Because it's a lot. I talking about these last 10. I mean, yes, it's been almost a decade. Talking about all these years is it's not
Right.
something that I actually sit and think about when I'm in interviews or whatever I'm doing. I just never really think
Right.
about that. So yeah. Yep.
And I'll say that it's just interesting because I'm kind of the opposite. I do read everyone's bios.
Oh.
I can almost like whenever I talk to someone, I know where folks are from and whatnot. So that's the
Right.
reason why why I was surprised. I was like, that's usually something that I would
Right.
remember. And with us both being from the DMV, like I said, I'm a couple years out of the area. I'm in Central
Mhm.
Virginia now, so
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
thrilled to run into my fellow DMVers.
Of
So
course. Of course.
try and rep rep us just a little bit.
I need to, and I'm glad that, again. I'm just so glad that you said that because I, I do. Yeah, I always thought about that. Like when I don't want to say make it, but when I get
Hmm.
into a space where people begin to take notice, I always wanted to, let everybody know I'm from the area. I'm from this
Right.
area. You know what I mean? Because it kind of
And
put.
it helps to put you in context, as
That's
far
right.
as what you've been through, things like that. So when
That's
I
right.
saw that, I said, aha, so now I found my connection point. And sidebar, you left the area about, I think, what, 8 years ago? Was it 2011? I'm not counting
I
right.
okay, so I left
14.
in it was 2013.
Okay.
2013, the end of I think it was like the last it was when Beyonce's album dropped. That's when I
Okay. I
moved
think it was
to
a surprise one, I
Atlanta.
think.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I remember because it was right around the time she dropped the album. So, yeah.
Okay.
It was scary
And
for me,
so,
but yeah.
and we both kind of did similar. I mean, I chose to leave, well, how many years? Like, 4 after that. Just
Uh-oh.
because, I mean, I love DC. And as I said before, like, I know the area like the back of my hand,
Right,
just
right, right, right.
working wise and whatnot. But I wanted, I just wanted to change.
Me too.
And
Yeah.
I got up in like without telling anyone. I let family
Really?
know after the fact so that no one was trying to convince me, talk me out of it.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. Because I think I would have probably did it a little different.
Hmm.
Um, but my dad, me and my dad are like, I mean, he's like my best friend. So I had to tell him. I had to let him know, like, look,
Right.
this is what's going down. If you don't tell nobody else, I'm out of here. And when my father, it's crazy because when I was on the bus, because I took the mega bus, I was on the bus. My dad
Oh
called me
wow.
and he was
Okay.
crying. I never heard my father cry. I'm talking about like he's a show enough tough guy. So he was crying on the phone as I'm on the bus. He said, "Son, what are you doing?"
Oh
And I said, "I'm going to live out my dreams, Dad. There's nothing left there for me. Nothing else left for me to do." And he said, "I know, son, but I'm just worried. I'm worried for you." And I'm like, "Dad, it's gonna be
yeah.
okay." And now to this day, he brags about everything that I do, and I'm like, "Dad, I'm not there yet. Don't tell nobody that, because I'm not there yet." But he's like, "No, because I'm super proud that you actually did something that I never had the guts to do." He
Oh
said, because
wow.
I was the individual who, I listened to my parents, I listened to everybody around me. He said, but for some reason, my baby, my child, you just had the gut. You were so gutsy to say, the hell would anybody think? I'm doing what is
Right.
best for me in my life. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, very good. As I said, we both decided to up and do the same thing. However,
cool.
ironically, I mean, after I went, I did go. I mean, I'm in Central Virginia, so it's
Okay, okay.
more of a smaller town vibe. I was happy to like walk out the door and it not be a parking lot,
Right,
on the street
exactly,
regarding
exactly.
traffic. And I'm kind of and I'm toying with the idea of returning. So I mean,
Really, you
I
should.
don't know.
I think you should.
I
I think you
Oh,
should.
gee,
I,
that wasn't the
I,
answer I was
I,
expecting.
I really think you should. And you're talking
I
about
almost went to where you were actually. I
okay.
think it was in 2016. I was apartment shopping. I looked at houses. All of the above. Like I had really thought about it. I went, stayed for about a week, and
So
looked
why
around,
not? What
shopped.
you mean? What you waiting on?
So I was dating
Yeah,
someone. Well,
exactly.
am dating
Mm-hmm.
someone in this area. That's how that
Oh,
happened.
okay.
Yeah. So that took the location
I
detour.
know that oh so well, so it's all good.
But who knows? I mean, hey, might still be in the cards. Who knows?
Right, right. Of course. You got to follow your heart. So yeah.
Right. And I have to ask. So one of the first times that I had heard of you, you were seeing someone
Yes.
that had frequented Apocalypse's eye candy section in the past. I believe. I
Yes.
think that article
Yes.
should still be there.
Yes.
And the two of you were slated to be a part of Love and Hip Hop a few years ago.
Yes.
So tell me, how did that scenario go?
Gosh.
What's
Okay, so
the
you really want to
backstory of
know the
that?
real tea? You want to know the real tea?
Yes.
So, well, we actually started dating right. Well, you know what? We actually started dating in the midst of Love and Hip Hop reaching back out to me. So they were like, because they've been reaching out to me for years, like since 2014, like the second year of me moving to Atlanta, they've been reaching out to me, trying to get me on the show. So finally, this go around, I said, everything seemed to make a little bit more sense for me to actually do the show because y'all already know how the show is. But anyway,
Right.
I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just jump. Let me see what this is about. And I was then dating the individual. I won't make mention of anyone's name, but I
Hmm.
was dating the individual, and I asked, hey, would you love to be a part of this opportunity? The individual was down and said, yes, let's give it a go. So it happened. I mean, everything happened so fast. It really happened probably a little prematurely when I look back on things, and I should have thought about it a little bit better. But I was just so excited and caught up in the moment. I was like, look, they're not going. I'll probably say too much. My team is gonna kill me. I'm gonna say it anyway. In order for me to, and my contract is up with them, so I can say whatever it is that I need to say. In order
Hmm.
for me to be a main cast member on Love and Hip Hop, I have to be dating. I got to be in a relationship. So when
Hmm.
they said that, imagine you being this googly eyed kid from Maryland who's finally is about to embark on something much more bigger than him.
Google guy.
You're going to jump. You know what I mean? You're going to jump, and I really didn't have the proper knowledge as I do now.
Hmm.
Then that I just jumped forward and really wasn't thinking about things, and it took a turn quickly. It took a turn quickly. I learned quickly that this thing is not for
Media tends
everybody.
to do
It
that.
does. and
um,
it,
Television tends to do
woo,
that.
I wasn't expecting it. I'm gonna tell you. I was in for a rude awakening, and it taught me a lot. It taught me a whole lot about me, personally, business wise. It taught me a lot. So, and I'm proud
Ironically,
that.
I didn't know that he was in DC either, which is funny. I
Oh,
don't, look, I
really?
guess my head's in the clouds.
Oh,
I
come
mean,
on
I
now.
well, I mean, well, I mean, prior to me writing about him, I think that this was maybe 2018. I think that when he entered
Yes.
the I-Candy section, but at that particular time, I didn't know. I'm just,
Really?
I'm
Okay,
just
so
saying, yeah.
that's probably literally right before we actually started dating. So yeah, yeah, interesting.
Okay. Yes,
Interesting.
very much so. And so, these days, well, there's a couple things. So, for one, just on the topic, I
Thank you.
hear from multiple sources. Yeah, you're welcome. Multiple sources about the show might possibly not be returning. I don't know. I don't know if you might have happen to have heard of anything
I've heard,
of the
I've
like.
heard, and they're still on my line. They're still they.
Okay.
I'm always in contact with Stephanie, Mona. I still talk to them every once in a while, so they'll check on me every time, every now and then again. So which I love,
Right.
So that's we're literally like a family. When you see individuals in this industry, even when you might see us acting a fool against each other in the media or whatever, it's still family, at the end of the day. So yeah, I love them.
Right.
I mean, because to be quite honest with you, they're the ones who really gave me an opportunity that led to me to be known a little bit more. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that was what's up. So I always am grateful for everything that happened in that moment. So yeah,
I mean,
but
like you said, things happen for a reason.
yeah, but I don't know if that. I don't know. I mean, they're my family. I don't know. I've heard that they may or may not be returning, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so like I just was. I mean, the first time that I heard it was kind of
hmm
like a blow to the chest because I was like, literally. I mean, I don't know. It's not been on for a couple years. I think maybe since 2020,
hmm
and I'm just sitting like an antsy kid where I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll hear an announcement this month, maybe next month, because I'm like, surely it's not going away. I mean, this has
No,
been a
no.
staple for like
It's
over a decade.
it's such in
So.
demand. It's like it's in demand. People may dog reality TV or individuals who may partake in it, but it's like a guilty pleasure for everyone. You know what I mean? Even
Oh,
my
of
mom.
course.
My mom always, oh, I don't want to indulge into that, but. Man, please. She'll text me. Did you see? Did you see? And I'm like, Mom, you just told me, and you barely even wanted me to do reality TV, but you always talking about it. She
I mean,
literally begged me.
I've taken a million takes on a lot of this where I'm like, and I've interviewed a few cast members in the past where
uh-huh.
I said
Uh-huh.
that, like, similar to the Real Housewives, it's supposed to be
Yes.
about these professionals. It's supposed to be, and particularly the Housewives, it's supposed to be about these affluent women and following their
Yes.
lives. But
Hmm.
of course, it always divulges into mess
Of
if it's
course.
anything other than that. And
Let's be
so, and
real. I
yeah, and so, and
mean,
what have we done? Of course, I'm sitting and watching all of it. You know,
I mean, just ask yourself if they did not include all of that, would you be interested in watching? You know what I mean? It's some
right?
people I will say, okay, you know what? I don't want to see the mess, but to be quite honest with you, working in the business in the world of
It's
entertainment,
mess.
it's yeah, it is a lot of mess,
when,
and
when we
I
tell
don't.
our stories and recite
Uh,
stuff, like I'd work with someone who I'm always repeating things to, and he's like, he said, when I first met you, I said, JaVonni's very professional. He's he's this really straightforward guy. But the more that I talk to him, like, wow, your life is really crazy.
Man, tell me about it. Tell me about it. And I was
And I'm
hoping
like,
that
none of
they
this
was
is
going to show.
intentional. And I'm like, I have an
Right.
explanation for everything. And then, of course, well, I guess in the scenario of these people, add cameras and all to it.
Yeah.
And of course, it's going to be 50 times bigger.
Yeah.
And that is actual reality,
That's what happened. Yeah. That's
whether we tend to think so or
exactly that's exactly how it happened. You know.
not.
So and there's a lot of liquor involved, but you didn't hear that from me. It's a
And
lot of
so,
liquor
look,
involved.
sidebar before I move on. Like I always talk about, I mean, like
Sure, sure.
so you have dinner at like 8 o'clock, and the first person shows up like 7:55. The last person shows up at like
Hmm.
10:02, and then you get started. Dinner and filming. And then the first person's been sitting there drinking for 2 hours,
Right, right,
and by the
right,
time everyone shows up, you want to fight. I
right.
would be fighting. The fist would have been
I mean,
we'd be in motion by the
that's
time
right.
it started.
That's right. I mean, it's production. I mean, it's production. I don't want to give. I'm sure. I don't know if other cast
Yeah.
members gave little tidbits away, but I don't want to say too much because
Mhm.
I love Mona and Stephanie, so I don't want
Well, actually, so that
to.
came from like, well, I say that specifically like from things that have been said like on
Yeah,
camera. I think of people like Nene who would always complain about being first,
yeah,
and every so often you'll hear how long someone's been waiting at a
yeah,
table, and I'm like, that is completely insane. I don't
yeah.
want to wait 20 minutes. What the hell are you doing?
It
you know.
happens. It happens so often. I don't. Everyone wants to be fashionably late, and yeah, it's a.
Absolutely.
They're my family. I love them. I'm sending them good vibes and all that good
Well,
stuff.
likewise. I mean, like I said, I like it. I mean, does it sound ridiculous? Yes. Am I
Yeah,
sitting and watching it? Absolutely.
absolutely.
You
Of
know,
course, of
rubbing my
course,
hands together. And
of
so I
course.
take it that would, so you would be interested if, the invite happens to circle back around.
To be honest with you, to be
Hmm.
honest with you, I don't. I get asked this question all the time. I don't know. I never even wanted to do reality TV, by the way. That was something I never even considered ever doing.
Hmm.
But I won't say never. I won't say never. I won't say never. I'm learning to not say that a little bit more. I
Hmm.
won't say never, but if the opportunity presents itself and it's the right opportunity, I would definitely take it.
Right.
I would go for it because now I know how to play the game. Hmm.
Right. And I'll add that I believe in supply and demand, so like,
It's
the
what
rule
the
of
people
economics.
want at the end of the day. Yeah.
Exactly, you gotta give the people what they want.
It's what they want. We can
Gotta
talk
gotta
about,
bend the
oh,
rules a little.
drama is
Bend the rules a
terrible.
little.
Exact. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned over the years. I'm not going to sit with my pen and morally
Right.
and morally judge, in covering this because I mean, again, if you were in, said
Right.
situation,
Who's
Bonnie,
anyone
what
to
would
sit
you
back and
do?
judge the next person? What are you judging the next person for? Imagine if you had a camera following you your entire, like all around your entire life. We will all be ashamed, I'm sure, about what is being seen on television. All of us. So again,
Hmm.
I'm like, I don't. Who gives a damn of what anybody say at this point? I know I don't. I
Right.
really don't.
And at the
So
end of the day, you've done your job and have been entertained.
it's a job. You're entertaining. You know what I mean? And that's how I was able to get past all of like literally looking at this thing from a moral compass and not be so judgy because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Before the opportunity even came to me, I was looking like, why the hell are they acting like this? What's going on? This and the third. But now I understand it. And my mom, who I was very surprised, she was actually the one who actually, helped me to see that from that perspective and say, this is just entertainment. You're entertaining people. This is your job. That's it. This is not necessarily, I mean, it's real life, but it's exaggerated. I'm gonna say that it's exaggerated.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's interesting that it's your mother who was the one
right, and she was
who pushed with that. Cool, mom. Way to go, mom.
Yeah, but at the same time, when I was reading over my contract, she was like, "Son, are you sure you really want to do this? They're gonna paint you in a bad light, and you're really not that person." And she was texting me, crying, "I don't want you to do this," and
no, mom, you started this.
I'm like, you don't want me to do it, or do you want me to do it? Or she always texting me talking about, did you see what happened on last night's episode? Now it's me about to be on the show. I don't know if I would do that if I was you.
I mean, one in a lifetime experience. I would say.
Yes, the experience I'm forever grateful for. The experience, although, because people always ask, how come we never saw you? We saw the news, you was going to be on this and the third. I was able to actually film scenes, okay? But it didn't go, because I did not continue, they had to cut me completely out of that season. So, unfortunately.
I understand as far as like storylines.
Yeah, they wanted what they wanted.
Hard to do, right.
They want what they want. And if you don't provide, they'll replace you and find something and move on. They'll move on real quick.
I believe you.
It's showbiz.
Right. And so I understand that you are working on a big project at the moment now. If you don't mind letting us know about.
Yes, I'm working on a man. I'm so excited. I can't stop smiling because this is a passion project for me. I've been working on.
Look, you beat me. You beat me here. The show. I was looking at you backstage, sitting there smiling. I said, "I'm so glad that." I mean,
I was.
It could be something worse. I could be entering to.
No, I'm sorry. No, my bad. I was looking at somebody.
It's all right.
No,
let's tell us about the project.
Yes, hold on. Yeah, give me a little bit more wine, just a little bit. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, my family is here, so yeah. But anyway, which project would you like to talk about? Because I don't know what my team showed you or told you yet. It's a whole lot of them. What you want to know? Ask me some questions.
So this is about the hip hop panel.
Oh yes. Okay, yes. I'm excited about that. Oh my goodness. I created that project literally right around the time I was going through the Love and Hip Hop stuff. I created that around that time, and I was actually in DC. And for some strange reason, I always come up and create some of the most best ideas ever when I go back home. It always end up that way. I guess because I have time to kind of step away from, the hustle and bustle, being in Atlanta and all that good stuff. So that's when I thought of this entire idea. But unfortunately, we had to, everything just stopped because, hold on. When the world? Oh, sorry. Someone said that they. Okay, I don't know if they can see me. Sorry. Someone, actually, there was an untimely passing of one of our co-hosts. So we literally halted production on everything, and yeah, it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate, and I was really excited. But again, everything happened for a reason. So but now we're back and we ready to rock out. I am so happy. You have no idea how long it has taken to get this project up off the ground.
And I'll say, as far as the timing goes, so looking at who some of the cast is, I immediately got excited. I mean, one of them being Jalen, last name Banks, I think.
Yes, well, Pina, Jalen Pina. Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. I think is that how you put Lord? Okay.
I don't have
I'm
it open
sure it
right
is.
now.
Jalen Banks is one of them. So yeah, shout out to Jalen. And I actually just got off the phone with him before that. So yeah.
Okay, and so just for those who are watching, who might not know,
I keep forgetting that this is live. I'm sorry. Hey guys. I'm sorry. Hey y'all.
yes, hi, internet, good internet folks out there.
I know. Hi y'all.
So for those who don't know, Jalen is an oh, so I don't have any other way of putting it.
Okay.
He
No, go ahead.
happens
Say it.
to
Just say
be
it. Just say it.
yes, he happens to be engaged to
Fallon.
Fallon,
Yes.
whose
Who she
last
was
name
on
I
Real
can't think of
Housewives of
her. Yeah,
Atlanta.
right. So
Yes.
she was on Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yes.
She and I'm telling this backwards.
Do
Portia Williams
you need some
was
help?
got to know Portia Williams got engaged to. Hey, look, everyone had trouble with this story.
We all did when the news broke. It was yeah.
Yes, and to be fair, what's so funny about this is that I had no intentions.
Mm-hmm.
I had actually stopped
It's
talking about this. In all seriousness, for the sake of respect of everyone, I quit talking about it. I was allowing it
boy.
to play out. What are the chances? What are
They
the chances that I agree to an interview in some kind of way? This becomes a part of it. I
it comes
swear to
up right.
God. I told someone maybe 2 weeks ago that I
Mhm.
stopped talking about it. I really was. I was trying my best. Not that I'm saying
Well,
anything wrong, but
yeah,
that's
you're
just funny
not.
that this played out.
It's
But so Portia
okay.
Williams
Yeah.
was she got engaged to her friend Fallon's husband,
Yes.
and
Yes.
as they
Ex-husband. Ex-husband.
divorced,
Yes. Yes.
right, they
Yes.
divorced around that time,
Yes.
and Fallon got engaged to.
To Jalen.
Listen,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
lost in the end.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
to
funny that you make
Jalen.
mention of this story because we literally, I just spoke to him, and I said, I did ask him. I said, and we're good friends anyway. So I asked him. I said, "Are you okay if someone ever bring you up in any of my interviews, just by chance?" I said because we are working together now, so of course
Right.
people are going to ask what's going on because that was such a huge story. He said, "Prince, I
Mhm.
don't care. Talk about it." So and we have so much respect for each other. So I won't say anything crazy, but I don't mind.
Right.
It
And
was a
from a
big story. So yeah,
yeah, and I'll say that from a
it was
professional
huge.
standpoint. So whenever new names appear on these shows, I always do research. As I said,
Hmm.
I have a habit of dragging out and reading everybody's bio. Like I want to
Hmm.
know. I want to know who I'm looking at on television. When I watch cable
Right,
news, when I see a guest, I'm reading. I'm looking, checking the credentials of who's talking. Is
right,
this
right,
person
right,
worthy of me sitting here and watching?
right.
So that's me. So when I saw him and even Fallon, I was wondering, and
Hmm.
I have for I don't know. Hell, I don't know when all this stuff started. It was last year, I think.
It was last year.
Hell, during COVID, it feels like we've been here for 5 years.
Right, we were doing
But,
COVID. That's right, the lockdown.
but right, I said I was just wondering what both of them would be doing professionally. I know that I was following Fallon closely, like
Mm-hmm.
uh, Instagram stories and
Uh-huh.
whatnot, which I had to take a break from because it was information overload.
It
You
was.
know,
Yeah.
but it's great because I literally had said recently that I stopped following this story, and so I kind of fell
Wow.
out of the
Now
loop.
look.
And I said, I need to look at this, but do I want to do that to myself? Because I was like, this was abuse. It just felt like this is abuse. And maybe when things calm down, I will
Listen.
look at this again. And voila, this felt you helped me do my
No,
job. Thank you.
look. See
I
there,
have to
look at
thank
it.
you for this.
Look at that. The universe always responds. Always responds. So now look at us.
It
Look
really
at us.
does.
Who would have known that me and Jalen would be doing a show? Hell, I didn't even think we were going to do a show, to be quite honest with you, but it just happened. Like
Right.
it happened. Me and all of the cast members, we just meshed so well together, and the energy and the vibes is just
How did you get
and
the cast?
wow, great question. I'm actually friends with all of them. I'm
Okay.
friends with everybody, and it
Which, by the
just
way, and for those out there, this is being executive produced by Neffy,
yeah.
Nefertaria. What is her last name? Nefertaria.
Nefertaria Pugh. She goes
Yes.
by. Yes, yes. So
Which
if
I
you
did not
guys
know that
don't
she
know
was
who that,
in
that's Keisha Cole's
production.
sister. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So I was shocked to see the title. I didn't know that she
Hmm.
was producing. So
Yes.
for one, that's great, and especially from the standpoint of, I said that at least she gets to one reclaim her story.
Hello.
Because one of the last times that we saw her,
On
she had
Yanla.
quite an exchange from Ayanla, and if anything, so she gets to now be on camera and talk about who she
Yes.
thinks is the gutter tonight these
Hello. Come
days,
on
and it
now.
doesn't have to.
Come on
And
now.
again, she and her family have
Yeah.
gone into such great depth about their lives.
Yes.
For once, it
Yes.
didn't have to be about them,
Yes.
and I'm sure that that has to
Yes.
be like a breath of fresh from
Of
her books.
course.
I know her husband, even her husband's story. I
Yes.
read some of this years ago.
Yes.
Going over that today, I said, "Wow, I forgot." Just about how heavy
And it
things
is
are with them.
and it's so crazy. I'm like, how in the world did I get here? How did I get here to be surrounded by all these incredible people with these big stories, amazing lives? How did I get here? And they're all amazing individuals. Gosh, our stories. My love for Neffy just runs so deep. It's
Mhm.
beyond the entertainment business. It's beyond showbiz. We were there beyond all of the glitz and the glam. So I'm so happy to see her in this position, in this seat, because now she's always wanted to do it. She always wanted to be, that executive producer, and she finally gets to
Okay.
do it. And she's so excited, so excited. We kept it a secret. I didn't tell any of the cast members I didn't say, actually, I didn't tell them until today. They had no idea that Neffy was going to be part of this.
Oh wow!
They had no idea. So it was just like a shocker. Obviously, everything is dropping tomorrow. Well, at 12 o'clock tonight. So it's going to be everywhere. But
Okay.
I'm really, really excited about this project. I just can't wait for the world to finally see it. I feel like now is the time. It's the time. I mean, we need something that is fun, that is, just good, entertaining.
Right.
We just need something good, that good soul conversation. So yeah, I'm excited. Really am.
And I mean, just as far as who the cast is, you get to
Yes.
have, largely younger people. I mean, for one,
Yes.
how many panels do we have who are, covering the industry or covering hip hop, who are, remotely close to millennial age?
Right.
For instance, for one.
You know what? My thing is, and it was so important for me to do this because I believe that we have to tell our stories. We got to keep telling our stories, because if we don't
Right.
continue telling our stories, someone else is going to tell our stories and then change the narrative. So it was so important for me to finally, do something that is ours. I wanted to do something that was ours, that is for the culture of hip hop,
Right.
and continue that legacy for the legends, even the more so, because it's kind of like a huge gap. I kind of look at this show as if it's the bridge that's like in between the new generation and
Yeah.
the legends, and it's going to be a cool experience because it's so much. I don't want to give too much away, but it's going to be
Right.
fun. I'm so excited for everybody, for
I will have to
sure.
say that is, that's something that I say all the time because I
Hmm.
mean, we do know this. Other
Yeah.
people will tell our story. This is
Hmm.
how we have scenarios
And they
like,
never get it right. They never get it right.
and this is how we know, next thing we know, we'll have, a mayor saying that, rap is creating, shootings across the city,
Hello.
like in New York.
Hello. They always relate violence to hip hop. And that's not the case. You know what I mean? And that's why I say this, it's important that we continue to tell our stories, because if we don't do it, they're going to
That's how
change the
that happened.
narrative. And then we become so upset about why are we looked at as such? Well, because a lot of us aren't really telling those stories, stepping up to the plate to tell those stories. So
And by the
that's
way,
why I'm
so that's
excited.
specifically one of my main focuses on interviewing people
Hmm.
is to make sure that, and this started in the middle of COVID. And again,
Good.
told you I'm in Central Virginia. I'm not too far away from the capital of the
Right.
Confederacy, and so we
Oh
had,
goodness, yeah.
as it pertains to protests and riots,
Hmm.
there was a narrative that was put out there. Oh yes, it wasn't true, but it was pretty ugly. And I went out of my way to try to interview people. It actually was a national thing. I made sure that I spoke to folks in like Chicago, Detroit,
Really?
DC, Baltimore, all of the worst areas to try to find some of the,
Wow.
more shining examples.
Good.
In industry
Good.
people, get a 1-2 punch, two birds with one stone. Just to try and do away with those negative stereotypes. Like, it
Yeah.
was that particular time period was terrible. And I'm like, I'm sick of waking up and hearing stereotypes of us
So many stereotypes.
every day.
So many stereotypes about our culture, our race, and I don't like it neither. So I'm that individual to say, you know what, look, if no one else is going to do it, I'll do it. And I don't wait for
Right.
anyone to sit around to do it. I'm like this. Look, if you sick and tired of seeing that example, you get out there and change it. You get out there and be the change that you want to see in the world.
I
I know
agree
it
with
sounds like
that.
a cliche, but it's the truth.
It is that simple.
It may sound corny, but it's really that simple. I mean, that's how I kind of got noticed, in the business, because I didn't wait for anyone to give me anything. I said, I'm going to get
Right.
out there and create it myself, whether anybody chooses to support it or not. I'm going to start. So
That good old
yeah,
DMV hunger. That's
that
what
I told you.
that's
I
what I
told
called
you,
it.
it's that DMV hunger.
So look, so one of the cast members is Trail Love. And
Yes,
this is
yes,
an R&B artist. I know that you
yes,
all work together. Do you
yes.
manage him? I'm not
I
sure what.
do. I
Okay.
do. See, I
He's
have my
very good,
hands
by
in
the way. I've listened to
everything.
his music.
Shout out to Trill. Yes, yes, from Chicago. Um, that's you just jump right on in there. Yes, I do have a management and marketing boutique firm, which is woo. I love
Work
it too.
uncertain.
It's a lot of work, but I love it. I love what I do. Absolutely love, and I love helping people because I've gone through the struggle. I know what that's
Hmm.
like of trying to be seen by the right people in the business. I know what it looked like. It's tough. It's not for everybody. So I can spot
Okay,
a
folks,
star.
and so you
I
have
can spot
someone
a
here
star.
with. Right, you've got someone here, with his media firm, and as he said, or what is it? In the words of who was that? This what it looked like.
This is what it looked like.
This is what it looked like. But
A lot of
Trello, look,
look.
his visuals are good, his music is good.
Yes, yes.
It does well on camera. So I would imagine, as far as a pick, um,
Oh,
I
he's
think that he's
amazing.
good. I think that he's
He
good for the show.
he is absolutely amazing for the show. He has a different perspective. He's bringing a different perspective from a rapper's point of view.
Right.
Something that a lot of us probably won't necessarily be able to understand, but he will be able to bring that point of view to the show, and I think it's really dope. He has an awesome personality, amazing personality, in which I mean, hell, everybody a part of the cast has an amazing personality. Because I know what it's like to work in the world of media.
Hmm.
It's not easy. You have to have a personality, and if you don't have a personality, this thing is not for you.
Okay.
I hate to say it like that. Ooh, I hope I ain't hurt nobody's feelings. I'm sorry, y'all. Please don't take it personal. I just have that business mindset all the time. So yeah.
Right. And so look, you talked about you're going to be covering like industry cultural shifts. So
Yes.
I'm just going to take like a stab at what some of those topics might be. I
Okay.
mean, you could have things like, what is it? One I was talking about recently, Jack Harlow was talking
Oh,
about his work with Lil Nas X, and how no
yes.
matter how many accolades that he has, unfortunately, he said that there's still plenty of homophobia around. And remember, there was lots of questioning about when is it appropriate to come out, or just saying that it was for attention.
I'm
And
Go
I,
ahead. I'm sorry.
I feel like I feel like there's a politically correct answer, and I feel like
Mhm.
there is a business answer. Politically correct in the sense that I think it's horribly offensive and
Yeah.
kind of ridiculous
Yeah.
to argue about when a person should come out.
I agree.
At the same time, I do feel like that there are people professionally who have a time frame or who have some
Right.
type of specific area of when that should be. And so I have an
Absolutely.
idea that something like that might possibly be a part of it. And
Of
what do you have?
course.
Do you have
Of
an answer for that?
course.
Like,
I
what
do
would
have
you
an answer for
say?
that. And I'm glad
Like
that
I
you
said,
asked
I
this
feel like
question.
it's inappropriate, but yet people still are going. They're still professionals who debate this. You know.
You know what? I'm glad that you asked this question because it's part of the reason why I was so adamant about actually, placing myself in this position because as you say, there's all these stereotypes and stigmas. Oh, you can't be this or you got to do that, in
Right.
order to be a part of the hip hop community. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna show them a thing or two. I'm gonna show them a thing or two because it's again it's this narrative and things are evolving. We're living in a time where things are evolving, which is great. Um, but it's time to put a little bit of pressure on some folks' necks and stop thinking that
Okay.
because your lifestyle may be different from others. Come on now, who's it? We should be in these spaces. Why shouldn't we be in these
Right.
spaces? We should be
Right.
welcome. So again, it's funny that I'm actually the creator of this show, and we have some big heavy hitter names that's coming on to the show for individuals to still have this stigma about
Right.
the LGBT community. So we'll see how this unravel, but I'm ready to tackle this issue and tackle it head on. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to open up so many doors for so many other people who may be a little afraid to step into that arena. But I'm here to say,
Right.
man, please, we doing this. We doing this, and and that's what they love about, and all of the cast members love about me being the quote unquote, I guess, spearheading this project because they're like, man, this blackmail, this gay blackmail. And I don't really care for labels. I really don't. I really don't. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like labels too much. But, as society wants to put it, how is
But as
this
far as
individual?
representation, I mean,
Uh, it's
it does
important for
matter.
representation. Exactly. Exactly.
I mean,
I,
just your sheer existence
I agree.
will let
I
some
agree.
people feel that they're comfortable to come on. There are
That's right.
people who are afraid of. There are, I mean, music, politics, etc.
Yes.
Because I do my amount of coaching. There are people who are afraid of doing interviews.
Yeah, they are.
Being a gay person, and so they
But
will
I've never ran into that
naturally.
problem. To be quite honest,
Okay.
I've never ran into that problem, and that's why it's so important for me to be so vocal about it because now that I guess I'm in this space,
Right.
I am who I am. I'm never going to hide it. I'm proud of who I am. So it's important for me to continue that because again, what are the younger people behind me thinking? I want them to see that it's possible. Forget
Yes.
what these older individuals who still stuck in the olden days still believe.
Okay.
The world is evolving. You better get with the program or you will get left behind regardless of what you don't like. Just educate yourself on these things. Not to say that you got to be down for everything that the world is evolving to or with,
Right.
just don't be ignorant to it or don't
You
pass
have
judgment on
different
things.
people in the world. You
That's
got different
exactly.
people you have to work with, and
We
it's
all got to
just
coexist with one another, whether we like it or not. So get over it. It ain't going nowhere. It's not because it's not going nowhere. We got to coexist with everybody. So, you
that's
know,
pretty much that's pretty much where it's been. I do a lot of politics as well, and I stopped having the conversation because it's like
it's all
at a certain point,
politics.
yeah, at a
Yeah.
certain point, it's like
Yeah.
you know this,
Yeah.
you know that they're different people, you know they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to learn how to exist and work together. And how many times does this have
Like,
to
get
be
over it.
explained? How many years? How many
Like, come on
decades?
now.
Etc.
Like, why is it anyone's business anyway? But again, I don't
That's the
even.
truth. Those are the true gutter snipes, by the way.
Those are the gutter snipes, right? Yeah, those are the gutter. Those are the gutter snipes right there. Individuals who
Yes,
don't want to
please.
evolve.
That should be a segment actually. Nappy should have a list of like the daily gutter
I'm
snipes.
gonna call Nappy after this and say, "Hey, Naff, we gonna have to work this in somehow because I like that. I like that one. I sure do. Let's flip it on its head because she hated that. I'm gonna tell you, she didn't like that at all, and she has every right to. So yeah, because she didn't like the narrative.
Well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I mean, that was a lot. I mean, and it's
Yeah.
different when you're looking at it,
Yeah.
and people are going to naturally react a certain way when you are
Yeah.
both, either insulted in front of national television, that's going through your head,
Yeah. It's
and then
hurtful.
when certain words are used.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember it was trending that day because one, people didn't know what the word was. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it was, it sounds ugly. I remember that.
You
That was one of Twitter's finest moments, actually. And
they
to be
loved
the
it,
recipient of such,
and she hated it.
we don't think about going into a therapeutic environment and receiving that.
And you know what? See, I'm real big on therapy. I'm like an advocate. I don't want to say an advocate, but I'm real big on therapy. I think therapy is so necessary for all of us. Hell, for everybody, for
Hmm.
everybody to be quite honest with you. But that situation it was tough for her. It was tough, and I it can be hard on public figures at times. I will say that that's probably like the ugly part that I
Yeah.
I really don't care about too much because people will see that pain, but to them it's still entertaining. It's entertaining,
Right.
and they don't see a person as a real human being, and I've had my experience in the media, and it was
Mhm.
hurt. It was hurtful. It was hurtful. So,
And it's
but
worse. I mean, it's people. There was a time where people would see it as entertaining,
right.
and then that was before you got to have it relived in your phone,
Oh my
in
goodness.
notifications,
When you got to
repeatedly.
keep saying it over and over and over and over
And the
and
good
over.
part of that, this is therapeutic as well. The fact that you
Yeah,
get to be a part of helping, to change your narrative into
that's right.
something else.
That's
And I have to
right.
ask, so what would the
Yes.
ideal scenario be, or ideal end goal be for this show, or how you would,
Wow, that's a wonderful
ideally like it
question.
to turn out?
That's a wonderful question. I'm glad that you asked. Well, oh gosh. I feel like I'm gonna give away the secret if I say.
Oh,
Okay, so I will say this.
skim a little off the
It,
top.
okay, I will say this. It will be seen on a major network. It
Nice.
will be seen on a major network, but I don't want to see.
Okay, okay. Give you snaps for that.
You're right, right. I don't want to say too much,
Uh-huh.
but yes, it will be seen on a major network, and I'm excited. I feel so like I'm happy, y'all. I'm happy,
I can tell. I can
and
tell.
and a little wine on top of it.
Wouldn't hurt. Which I look at this hour, I probably should too. Like I'm having coffee like a
Listen,
maniac.
I need it.
You know.
I'm running a management and marketing boutique firm. I need it. Trust me. It's not easy. Everybody it may look glamorous, but
Maybe you can tap me and give me a reminder, like, Vonnie, it's 8 o'clock. This is wine hour, not coffee. That was 12 hours ago.
hello, hello.
And I'll sit and drink it until like my eyes start twitching. Like
Oh my God, that's
that's
terrible. No,
where we
that's
are right
terrible.
now.
That's you know what. Now my team will be calling me. If you don't get off this, they will call me so fast. Prince, don't say that. Prince, don't say. Nah, I
Yeah, I
love it. I
haven't.
love
Yeah,
it.
I was able to avoid you having any of those moments,
Thank
or
you.
so I
I'm so
hope.
glad. I'm so glad. I was a little nervous. I was telling one of my colleagues earlier. I said, you know what? I haven't been on camera in almost 2 years. I said, I don't
Oh
know. Well,
man,
I think it was 2 years or maybe a year and a half. I don't
it's
know. I don't know. But it's been a while.
all a blur now.
It's all a blur. I've done, yeah. So I said, you know what? I am a little nervous. She said, Prince, you out of all people are nervous? You out of all people I said, yes, because I haven't done this in so long. And I said, I don't know what he's going to ask me because everybody keep asking me about that one thing. Everybody wants to know about that one thing. And of course, I get it because it's salacious and it's one of those things that is interesting. I mean, it's very intriguing. I will say the
Mhm.
least. It's very intriguing. That experience is intriguing. All of the
And
articles are intriguing.
yeah, and I'll add. So this was about 4 years ago. So when
Mhm.
you were last reported,
Yes.
with a love interest. Um,
Yes.
would there happen to be a potential that's hanging around at the at the moment, or did you learn your lesson the first time around and you decided to try and, you know, keep that a little a little quiet?
I will say this. It was a huge learning lesson for me, when it comes to dating. Um, but I think this go around, I will. Oh gosh, I know my team probably about to be. I am single, and I'm
Didn't see
not
that
dating.
coming.
I'm not dating right now. I'm focused on work and in school, and I'm focused.
Understandable.
I'll be the next. You're looking at the next huge entertainment lawyer as well too. So it's
Oh, okay.
yes.
Very good. Well, that's a big one because
Yes.
I don't think that I saw
No
that
one
coming
knows
from
because I don't talk
anywhere.
about it. Yeah, I don't talk about it. It's like my
Okay.
family and friends would know, but other than that, it's been kept a secret. I actually
It's a big
it
one.
was something that I was always interested in doing, always interested in
Hmm.
becoming a lawyer. But I'm like, man, I'm in entertainment. How in the world am I going to do this? But during the pandemic, I had a lot of time, a lot of time to think,
Right.
and I just jumped forward head first, and I will say this: I absolutely love school now. I never thought that I would.
Okay.
I never thought that I would. I used to hate school. I used to fail every class. I was too busy trying to be Mr. Popular. So yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, here's the thing. What makes it different as an adult?
Hmm.
So while it might not have been cool to to really be studying, etc., be away
Hmm.
from folks as a
Yes.
teenager, what I tell my well, not younger friends, like my friends' children,
Hmm.
um, you don't want to. I'm like, you better study because you don't want to. No one wants to be around a dumb adult,
I agree.
basically.
I agree. I agree.
That's the thing. Like I talk about the amount
Yeah.
of studying that I do every
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
for politics, music, etc.
Yeah.
I'm going through,
It's tough.
hip hop history all the time. I'm like, why? So that I'm not one of these dumb people that I talk about, who go on television and lie and
Yeah.
just,
I
have no clue what they're talking about. So in that regard,
I can't say
it's
that.
actually nice to be around people who know what they're talking about.
I hello. For me,
So think about it. So think about it in that regard, and especially in this industry and knowing
yeah,
your stuff. I mean, I
you
had to
should.
get someone not too long ago where I said, "Look, this is work." So I had
Hmm.
to go through like 20 some emails. There's this whole like wars, a group
Uh
war
huh.
happening,
Uh huh.
email group war chain thing.
Hmm.
And I jumped in and I said, "Sir, you you are you are trying to engage in extortion by email. You are breaking the law in writing. How dumb could you be?
You know what? And
You are a manager. I feel sorry for your clients. You have no sense. Like
I feel
you,
really bad for them.
if you had a little like legal sense, and this is where people like you come in.
Yeah,
And that is what is so valuable
it
about
is.
being a lawyer. In fact, I said at one point in time, some years ago as an adult, I said, well, if someone had told me, what all could be done with a law degree, which is practically everything.
Everything you can do,
I mean,
everything,
all of
everything.
practically all, high career professions,
Yes,
positions, they are all held by lawyers, and
absolutely,
many of which don't even appear to have anything to do with law. But that
absolutely.
is who is sitting up there. So
I mean,
it's a good space to be in. So if anyone tries to
it,
talk you out of it,
you know what? Like I told you in the very beginning, I ain't thinking about when nobody, if they haven't done it themselves, I really don't listen to that because it's just
okay,
like the blind leading
right,
the blind, when it comes to stuff
hmm,
like that. But for me, it was just important for me to understand the nature of this business, even the more so,
yes,
because it's a shark business. This is a business. This
oh
is show
yes.
business. This is not a high school talent show or anything as such. You got to
Some people
show up.
behave like it is.
They always do. and that's why I'm staying in school. That's why I'm staying in school.
And
That's
there's a
exactly
difference of those who know, and
right.
those who don't. Again, which is what would make you, all the more valuable
Absolutely,
in this type of
absolutely.
scenario.
You want to see yourself. You want to view yourself as an asset. You should
Yes.
shoot. Hell, everybody should view themselves as an asset. But I know that that's not always. Never mind.
This is yes, this is true. But no, look, I heard that is very exciting. So I mean,
Yes.
congratulations
Thank
on
you. Thank
deciding
you.
to further your education. And
Thank you.
part of my thought process with that is how do I put it? Like just the last like five or so years, and especially
Yes.
during COVID. A lot of what has appeared, in
Mm,
the news has just been nonsense and a lot of
yes.
very stupid people, for a
Yeah.
lack of better words. And as I said, when I set out to do, an interview series,
Hmm.
I wanted to. The objective was to, make sure I was speaking to,
Good.
smart people,
Right.
those who are actually doing productive things. Which is why I said I was not going to be doing it. There wasn't going to be any type of gotchas here. Not fighting on camera,
Thank
maybe
you. Thank
X
you.
no, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe, or something.
And we've all been
Maybe
there. We've all
when
been
I
there,
was
bro.
like,
Yeah.
12 and playing.
That's
Uh, maybe at that point in time, possibly.
right.
But
Right.
no, that is absolutely not what this is about. I legitimately wanted to know what you were doing, you know.
You know what? I don't. I'm an open book. I'm an open book. I don't have anything to hide. Because people always. I'm like, look, whatever questions you want to know,
Mhm.
I'm an open book. I always answer them. So I don't
Which,
have
of
anything to
course,
hide.
which, of course, so you did mention when you first asked me which project, which means
Yes,
that you have others. Would you
I
like to
do.
allude or touch on a couple others? A little something else?
Yes. 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 Thank you. I'm currently, I'm, I'm working on a major film. I'm working on a major film. I will be playing two iconic individuals in pop culture in the actually
Nice.
from our community.
Okay.
And I say our very strongly, because I feel like they belong to us. But I will be playing. I'm
I
so excited.
actually
Okay, no.
forgot about this because I read where you mentioned a film before and I forgot.
Yes,
So thank you.
yes, yes.
Thanks for catching
So
me up.
I will be playing in the film. I will be doing like an updated version of Malcolm X and
Okay.
Sam Cooke, the legendary Sam Cooke.
Oh,
So it's extremely challenging because you're and
I
you're probably
mean,
like, how in the world
you
are you
could
going
get
to
the
transform and all that good stuff? I hear it all the time, but my team, they believe in me and they're like, you got this, you got this, you got this, you can do it, you
well, at
can do
least
it. So,
neither character has any type of lip pursing that you have to worry about
well, thank
where you
God.
end up with the Viola Davis treatment. Lord help us.
No comment.
Love her to death. I'm sorry.
I love you,
I did
Viola.
not. I
I
just
love Viola Davis. No.
likewise. I had to say, look, I didn't see this coming. I did, which sidebar. I will add. I saw
No,
her
it's
do a
okay.
late. I saw her do one late night show. I forgot which one. And when
Hmm.
asked if Michelle Obama had seen it, she said, "I hope
Yes.
she doesn't." And this was one of her
Wow.
first interviews. And
Wow.
I said, "Okay." And I said, "Maybe she's just nervous."
Well, I will say
But
this. I do
who
have
wouldn't
the
be?
approval of Malcolm X and Sam Cooke's family, so
Okay,
they're
very
part of the
good.
project as well too. Sam Cooke's daughter is very she's like extremely hands on with the project, so I'm really excited. I can't wait because this is a big moment. I haven't told anybody. Like this is it's huge. It's
I mean,
huge.
Sam
It's
Cooke. I
like
mean, that is
I
huge.
know Sam Cooke has always been someone that I always admire. So, to transform into Sam Cooke, it's going to be crazy because I know people are probably looking at me like, how is he going to do Sam Cooke? He has long hair and all that good stuff. Trust me. It's crazy. And I do have to, I do have to put on a little bit of weight for the the role. So
Oh man,
it's gonna be crazy. I'm excited though. I
it's
can't
tough as
wait. I
well.
can't wait. I can't wait. So it's going to be interesting to see, and especially um, Malcolm X trying to channel Malcolm X. It's going to be interesting. You know, we're actually talking about something that is so prevalent, of course, with the police shootings and all of like everything
Right.
that is happening. It's like, why are we still here? Why are we still having the same conversation that Malcolm X once spoke about 60 years ago? We're still having the same conversation. Something
Yeah,
has
good
got to
question.
change. So it was important for me to, take this role. At first, I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. But my manager, LaShonda, she was like, no, you have to take this. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. So here we are.
I mean, look, that sounds amazing. And then back to Sam Cooke. I mean, this goes back to
Yes.
my choir directing days.
Uh-oh.
Again, many many moons ago.
Uh-oh.
I was gonna
Uh-oh.
say like a year. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna say what year, but
Yeah, you
yeah,
don't have to
I
say.
remember doing some Sam Cooke songs
Mm-hmm.
in high school. I'd first heard of him. I mean, so that's we had of course had stuff and whatnot. So
Cool,
that's
cool.
exciting. I mean, that I would
Yes.
love to that would take life. It's a little bit down
I'm
memory lane.
I'm
Take me in
big.
full
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait to channel. I've already read the script. Um it's incredible. It's incredible. I just cannot wait for everyone to see it. Because I've been putting in that work now. I've been putting in a lot of work studying him. Studying
Oh,
his
I see.
mannerisms. His life is just crazy. It was his story is just a story. It's a story,
That it
and
is.
it's a story. So, and I'm super proud that I get to tell it. That I get to help tell it. So, in such a way that has never been told before. I wow.
You have great timing, for all of it. I mean, regarding Malcolm X, I mean, in this day and time where we're actually paying attention
Yes.
to, civil rights issues,
Hmm.
some of the same things that, of course, that have been talked about, year after year, decade after decade, etc. It's
Yes.
finally ringing true to some people,
Hello.
heavy on the some. But still, the time worked out regardless.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
Sam Cooke, I mean, that's timeless. I mean, hey, that could have been done anytime. Still
Yes.
great for it happening. And again, for the hip hop panel, as I
I
stated, you've
know.
got multiple people there where if this were Neffy, say, 5 years ago, this wouldn't have been the same
No.
at all. It would not have been the same
Absolutely
for
not. No.
Jalen,
No.
at all. God's
No.
timing always works out for us.
Isn't that crazy? How everything just I couldn't have planned any of this. I couldn't have planned any of this. This is no Kardashian stunt. This is
Mhm.
none of that. I couldn't have planned none of this because I don't want nobody to think that this is not a
Right.
stunt. You know what I mean? Everything was just. I don't know. I got chills earlier. Right before the interview, I got
Mhm.
chills. Because one of my colleagues said, this is your moment. This is your time. You got to embrace it. Because I used to be so uncomfortable when people would give me any type of praises, say anything nice. I don't know. It always felt uncomfortable to me. I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'm not
Gotta
there, and all this
learn
other
how
good
to
stuff.
accept
And,
it.
and yes, and my therapist said that too. Yes, I do. I have a therapist. I love my therapist. But anyway, she said it's
Good
time
to
for you
have.
to embrace those compliments, embrace those moments. Take it in. So now I'm just in that season of my life of just embracing it all and saying, you know what, I do belong here. I worked hard to get here,
Yes.
extremely hard, and people have no idea how
Don't let anyone
hard
tell
I worked.
tell you otherwise.
They have no idea.
Mhm.
So and I think sometimes people think that this thing is easy, that they can just wake up and roll over and just put on, but no,
Right.
no,
And,
it's a
I'll
lot of
add,
work.
in my other time or in my time outside of doing the show,
Hmm.
I am doing I'm a part of some Misty Blanco, Mysterious Making Demand. maybe more
Cool,
from this
cool,
year
cool.
during this time period.
Yes.
But so she's going on tour, and so
Cool.
that is being cataloged for a show. And when
Wow.
we are together,
Amazing.
I am constantly told that I look like I'm ready to whoop someone's ass at any given moment.
Oh my
And the
God.
reason
What?
being, as we were saying, all of the all the behind the scenes stuff. A lot of times I'm like, I said, by the time we see each other,
Mm-hmm.
like when things are starting, of course, well now
Mm-hmm.
you have to do a show,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like well now a meeting is starting, etc. But I'm like, all the other stuff that happened to get to this point.
Yep.
At that moment, I'm like looking around, waiting for a threat or for someone to act like they're going to move too fast or something. Wait a minute.
I don't think people quite
Again, people
understand.
do not understand.
They don't understand, and I'm
Hence the
you.
reason I said that I need to switch to the wine and leave this coffee alone.
Me too. Me too. I told you. It's almost. I have to keep a. I have to. I have to have me a nice glass of wine because again,
Mhm.
this work is no joke. I love what I do. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I
And you've
absolutely
got
love
great
what I
people
do.
that
I
that you
do,
work with. I mean,
and I have an
I saw the
amazing
roster.
team. Yeah, my team is great. And let me say this because I can't do this by myself. I have an amazing team, and I've been working with my team actually when I first got to Atlanta, which is a blessing because
Okay,
usually
very
people don't
good.
stay around that long. But my team have always
Definitely not.
believed in me, and I like we're family, so they have my back, and I love them dearly. So, um, yeah, I couldn't do it without them.
That's always always good to hear.
I couldn't do this without them because this
I can
thing
stand to
is
borrow a person or two.
it's
But that's okay. And look, so I don't want to hold you, but
okay.
before we go,
Yes.
so if you could let everyone know again what the title of the show is,
Yes,
the
of
hip hop
course.
piano, where it can
Yeah.
be found, and when it's expected to air.
Yes. Okay. So the name of the show is called All in Hip Hop. We will be literally interviewing everybody from your hottest, newest talents to your legendary acts in hip hop. So I'm excited. It actually airs June 23rd. Thursday, June
Okay.
23rd. That is actually BET. That's the BET Awards weekend, I believe. Yes, that's the same
All
BET
right.
Awards
Yeah.
weekend. We'll be in LA and all that good stuff. So we have something
Nice.
special that we're doing in LA as well for the launch. So, and I probably, yeah, I don't think I should say too much about that. I think I'm saying too.
What's happening at midnight, by the way? You said something was happening tonight.
Okay, so the news is going out. The news is going out. Everybody would know
Okay.
about this amazing project. Finally, they get to hear about it. So, yeah, I'm excited. I can't
Absolutely.
wait.
And we'll be publishing something on Poplist as well.
Yes,
That you will
yes.
have in. Okay, now I remember why I was having the coffee because I need to write this this evening.
See there. Exactly,
And I kind of
exactly.
left out the fact that my day has kind of been going since like five something.
Mine's
So
have two.
yeah, I
Don't
did.
don't don't. Mine's have two. I went to bed at probably a little after 3. Woke up at 6 o'clock. So
Hey,
again,
we have the same sleeping schedule just about. So you understand.
yes, and yeah, this week it's a long week, but yeah, I'm excited
Okay,
though. As you can see, I'm still smiling because I I feel like I'm back at home.
exciting work.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm back at home,
It's
and
partly that DMV energy.
it
That's
is.
some of it.
Is
I
it?
want you
So
to take
it's the
credit for
DMV
like
energy.
15% of that. Just
Well,
15%.
I embrace that. I embrace that. It's the DMV energy. Gotcha. Okay.
All right. And could you let everyone know how to find you on social media?
Yes, you can find me. I think you can find me everywhere. It's all of my social media handles is at official Prince Carter. Official Prince Carter. So everywhere.
All right.
I think it should be on Twitter. I don't know. Don't get me lying.
It's okay. Twitter, I'm not sure. All right, so look. All right,
Oh
so
my
I'm gonna play an
goodness.
out. I'm gonna play an outro, and before we go, I want you to hang around. And
Sure,
we'll be here
sure.
once that's over.
Okay.
And everyone else. So of course, I can be found all on social media at JaVonni Brustow. And make sure that you check out poplist.com for the latest in celebrity news and pop culture.